because it's a fucking banger. Alright, okay, I guess I'll just take you from the top. Really, I guess what I just opened up with is reason enough. I'd love more people to experience this fantastic anime just as I have. But that's not the main reason why I wanted to make this video, nor why I'll be committing myself to making a follow-up video analysing the main character of this series. If you've ever hung around the streams for even a short period of time, you'll have most certainly heard me wax poetic about the magic of storytelling. And here I am again, or I guess in this format, here I am for the first time, trying my best to put those special feelings into words, as well as help you provide a small amount of support for the show and the wonderfully talented people who've played their respective roles in creating it. But before I go into all that, I'm going to start real quick by addressing the "and now is the best time to pick it up" part of the intro, as it only really needs a passing mention. Besides the obvious, the episodes are all released now and you can watch at your own pace. There's a little bit of an issue going on around this anime as it aired. For whatever reason, Girls Band Cry, upon its airing, was not licensed anywhere outside of Japan, I believe. Thank you to the unofficial news account for Girls Band Cry on Twitter. You've been a huge help for me gathering information as I make this video. During its run, the show has since been licensed in a few other overseas countries, notably Thailand, who, as this post illustrates, also have had the first international dub of the show, so a little round of applause right there. Getting back on track, you might be asking, Tanuki, where are you going with this? Well, because it wasn't being aired outside of Japan, for the most part, subs were handled by fans. And you may have already heard enough with me just saying that. One dude in particular was rushing the subs out through machine translation, I believe. More information in this video right here. But if you watch the show right after it would air, these are the type of subs you were in for. Yeah, not great. More dedicated and quality fan subs would usually go up a few hours later, but if you were someone like me who wasn't as in the know about this shit as I am now, this shit was annoying. Jumping into this anime now, I'd wager most places on the high seas will have better quality subs. Say Tanuki, the high seas? What on earth does that mean? Well, dear viewer, I am so glad that you asked. You see, I happen to know a guy, he's a splendid guy, and he gets a bit of a bad rep from other guys who claim they're also what he is, and though they are, the guy I know, I mean, he's just different class. And that guy, that special, amazing guy, is Monkey D. Luffy. Let's give him a round of applause. Yes, I do happen to know him. He's a close friend of mine, and he was kind enough to let me hitch a ride to Girls Band Cry Island just to watch this wonderful show. If you also happen to be interested, just let me know. I'll give him a heads up. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get to the fun part. I'll do a brief synopsis of the show, then I'll start diving into the behind the scenes of the work that got us here. On the surface of it, as with many stories, Girls Band Cry isn't doing anything revolutionary or breaking any new ground with its storytelling. As I've said many a time before though, it's not all about being unique. Execution of an idea is the most important aspect, and that's where this anime excels. The story follows Nina Iseri, voiced by Rina, whose singing voice is fucking awesome, leaving home for Tokyo and dropping out of high school in her second year to pursue college and work. It's there that she encounters Momoko Kawaragi, voiced by Yuri, who also has a fucking wonderful singing voice, singing a song that holds tremendous sentimental value to her. Soon afterward, we learn that Momoko is no longer a part of the band known as Diamond Dust or Diamondo Dusto that she was in when she wrote that song, and is on the verge of giving up music altogether. And it's from there, as their ideals and their feelings clash, that Nina's life in Tokyo truly begins, following her own journey into the world of music as she meets new people along the way, most notably Subaru Awa, voiced by Mire, Tomoe Bizuka, voiced by Natsu, and Rupa, voiced by Shuri. Quick side note, as of the making of this video, I've also been made aware that both Mire and Natsu have been unwell as of late and shall be both taking breaks to prioritise their health, so I'm wishing them a speedy recovery. I want to read a little from this Toei Press article real quick, and I'll touch on why afterward. Listen to the cries of girls who have no place to belong. This world always betrays us. Nothing is as it seems, but we want to love something because we believe there is a place for us somewhere. That's why we sing. Going into this anime basically blind, I hadn't any expectation for mature, or even edgy, for lack of a better word, vibes and storytelling as this short passage implies. However, upon watching the show, I was pleasantly surprised to be met with some severe and depressing tones amongst the subplots for the main group of characters. Running away from an awful past of bullying and blackmail and starting a new life without holding within any real purpose or dreams. The abandonment of a dream because your fears of failure convince you that reality dictates there's simply no meaningful place for it. Walking aimlessly through the dream of another that isn't the one you envision for yourself just to keep them happy. Neglect displaying to you that you're better off alone and shutting the world away, even if it makes it harder to reach your own dreams and finding your own way in the world after abruptly losing everyone you held dear to you. Using music as a cathartic release to scream and thrash and shout these stories loud and clear, girls, in their own way, confront themselves and each other, facing their pasts, their pain, and acknowledging their flaws and their fears, hoping that the sounds of their struggle resonate with the hearts of others. It truly made Girls Band Cry feel like a compelling and emotional roller coaster throughout its run, and I'm so happy to be making this video and expressing such. So, this signals the end of my light spoilers section of the video, so I'll end on this. Unreal music, incredible production that blends together both traditional 2D hand-drawn animation and 3D CGI seamlessly to tell a compelling and invigorating story, fantastic voice acting and beautiful visuals. A show just oozing with reasons to love it, and an experience absolutely worthwhile. Watch Girls Band Cry. The next portion of the video might still contain what you may consider spoilers, but to be more specific, I won't be talking about the overarching narrative in the show or the subplots in any further depth than I have thus far. At most, they may be mentioned in passing. Instead, the second half of this video will be dedicated toward diving into the behind the scenes work that actually got us here, looking at some key visuals and art, observing the earliest attempts to bring the vision of Girls Band Cry to life and comparing the CG illustration to that of the animes when it actually aired, and looking into some of the staff that did such a wonderful job of creating this show, as well as shouting out some of the other members of the cast. So, let's get right into that, shall we? In June 2021, Toei held what they described as Girls Rock auditions, and as this Anime News Network article details, with the help of Universal Music and Agaya Springs, a search for talent to form bands and feature in an eventual anime adaptation had begun. Now, for the life of me, I could not find when this was actually released. It wasn't long after Toei found their talent that the wheels began to turn. What I'd safely assume to be about a month later, a press release from Toei themselves further expanded upon the project, talking about the staff and talent, opening up about the concept and vibes of the show, and sharing some key visuals and music, including even 2 different music videos for 2 songs they were promoting CD releases for, those being No Rhyme Nor Reason and Nameless Name. The latter in particular we'll look at in a moment. It's a fucking banger, by the way. As well as detailing more music that would follow in the coming months. Speaking for myself for a moment, this key visual here happened to be the first piece of promotional material I'd come across for the show near the time it was soon to air, and I just knew this anime would be a fucking banger. Whether it be the traditional 2D hand-drawn art, or the beautiful CG illustration throughout the course of the season, Girls Band Cry is just bursting with breathtaking visuals and outstanding cinematography. The characters are so expressive and lifelike, whether it be for goofing off, singing their hearts out, Making a serious attempt at catching an assault case. Or when things get a little too much for them. The staff who brought these characters to life did an absolutely phenomenal job. And just as an aside, before we head back to that Toei press release I pulled up earlier, as you will have heard from those clips, this show has got some staggeringly good background OSTs. And I, for the life of me, could not find them in any way clean enough to include in the background of this video. And that's a genuine shame, as this show doesn't just excel from its inserts. Okay, back to this press release. Toei themselves state, the staff who have created works that attract young people have gathered together to take on the challenge of creating an original CG animation with an illustration quality never seen before. You could say that just sounds like PR speak, and I'd get it. But after watching the anime, it becomes incredibly apparent that Toei were not messing around and that they were taking this project very seriously. There was a strategy and a very high standard they set out to uphold from the very beginning, and the staff they brought in to work on the show supports such. You may recall that earlier in the video I said that we'd be taking a look at the team at Toei's earliest attempts at showing off their CG illustration and vision for Girls Band Cry. And fortunately, this channel on YouTube here uploaded both the original music video for Nameless Name and the eventual anime version that aired side by side. The original is already pretty damn good, but to me, I feel the anime version flows way better. The scenes for the original at times are kind of abstract and sort of random. Maybe that's too harsh, I'm not necessarily saying they're awful or anything, but say the sequence of Nina running around whilst the bandmates are somewhere in the background just playing, it's kind of random, and then the shot where they're all just kind of standing around in that empty room, then a few other shots go by and it goes back to that empty room and Nina's doing a Nina by trying to smash something, but you get the point, right? I felt that for the anime version, it became clear having the performance be influenced by the narrative of the show and where it was come that point really helped for the team at Toei to improve upon their original attempt. Two notable differences in the anime version is that the lighting is also significantly better, and likely because of them being more involved in the show up to this point, you actually get way more shots and expressions of everybody else's faces, aside from just mainly Nina. What's also really cool is you can even see remnants of the original scenes be iterated upon for the anime version. My personal favourite being this one, with Nina reaching towards the camera with a close-up that's just way more dynamic and awesome. The point I'm trying to illustrate here overall though is that, even from the start, Toei set themselves a pretty high bar and were working hard to push it even higher. It's safe to say they succeeded in doing that, for sure. And now, it's time to talk a bit about those wonderfully talented people who brought all of this to life. Right off the bat, before I get into that, I'm going to preface that my knowledge of people in and amongst the industry and how things work in the industry, for the most part, is super limited. In making this video, I've looked into the production of an anime more than I ever had before, so if any of my brief research into these people or my description of some of these roles and understandings of what these people will be doing in them are somewhat inaccurate or just completely wrong, please feel free to correct and tell me to shut the fuck up. I simply wanted their names to be in this video and for them to receive the praise and recognition that they deserve. Kazuo Sakai is credited as the series director. He's directed numerous seasons of Love Live, which is really notable because I'm loosely aware that anime also includes a lot of CGI, and in general, he's been in the industry from my brief research for decades, working on a myriad of anime with different roles respectively, as you can see here, and I believe this list covers anime where he specifically worked as a director, be it for singular episodes, a stretch of episodes, or the entire season. I'm guessing this is normal in the industry, but various names were credited for directing individual episodes throughout the run of Girls Band Cry, while Sakai consistently was credited for storyboarding every episode bar 2, those being episode 9 and episode 12 respectively, which were handled by Ayako Hiraike and Soichi Masui respectively. Sakai himself would only direct and storyboard episode 1 and episode 13, so it seems that as a director, he would essentially oversee how his staff would bring to life the ideas that he'd conjure up while storyboarding. Jukki Hanada is credited as the writer. He was responsible for the script and voice direction, etc. And it is blowing my mind seeing all the things this man is credited for working on. I really felt that there was a deft hand at work each week I watched and enjoyed this awesome show, as the storytelling was just so tight and well presented. Now seeing Jukki's library, it just makes everything make so much sense. This man is credited as the writer, or otherwise known as series composition, or Steins Gate, fucking Steins Gate, amongst a myriad of other shows I have really enjoyed over the years, like Love, Chinibyo and Other Delusions, Bloom Into You, Beyond the Boundary, The Dangers in My Heart. I mean, I could be here all day. He's also written for seasons of Love Live, and though I've not been able to find such, I'd wager he had worked alongside Sakai in some capacity at some point on that anime, surely. Credited as CG directors were Mari Kondo, who I've no idea if they're truly this woman or not, as I can't find anything about her anywhere. Supposedly this Mari Kondo has published a manga about tidying up? Yeah, I can't do much on this one. The other CG director credited is Jae Hoon Jung, sorry if I butchered your name, who, as you can tell by this list on screen right now, was vastly experienced up to this point and recently worked as the CGI director for the Dragon Ball film, Dragon Ball Super, Superhero. Nice. And lastly, though certainly not least for the main staff as they are credited, Nari Teshima is credited for the character designs and man. Do I really need to show anything else? The footage in this video and the key visuals should most definitely suffice. It's kind of funny, because out of all the people I've managed to research well for this video, he seems to be by far the most inexperienced in regard to officially credited roles, if you want to put that in quotes. But that doesn't matter, because this dude don't fucking miss.
This motherfucker don't miss.
There have been most certainly many, many more wonderfully talented people who worked on this brilliant show, and to them, I say thank you. I'll be more keen-eyed from here on when it comes to people working in the industry, and I hope to be seeing your names popping up again and again. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to the Diamond Dust Girls, or Diamond Dust Girls, who I've purposely been avoiding talking about as I wanted to tread as carefully as I possibly could around the overarching narrative of the show. But yeah, their music is great too. I really hope Toei back those girls and allow them to make more music, as the 2 songs they've done thus far, Cycle of Sorrow and their version of Void, are absolute flames. Well, I guess with all that being said, that brings me to the end of this video. Once again, thank you to all the wonderfully talented staff and the incredible talents for their respective roles in delivering to us an awesome run. I was kind of worried after watching Girls Band Cry, specifically in regards to if we'd ever see another season, seeing as it was licensed in so few places, but after looking into the behind the scenes of Girls Band Cry, I'm now way more confident that we'll be seeing Toganashi Togari and Diamond Dust, or, one more time guys, Diamond Dust again. And lastly, thank you to you, the person who's watching this video. I made this video just to express my love for this anime and to show it off, but of course I'd love for people who haven't seen it to go ahead and give it a try. Either way, I appreciate you for joining me as I did such. Final thing, I briefly mentioned at the start of the video that I'll be committing to a follow-up video on Girls Band Cry going far further in depth into the story of the show, and more particularly analysing Nina and the character that she is, as well as how well that is presented over the course of the season. It'll take quite a while, as I'm going to work on it in rotation with the other stuff that I do, shameless plug time, maybe give the book I'm working on, Fena, the Final Shinobi, a try. Yeah, I'm looking forward to making that. As long as YouTube don't copyright strike this video. I mean, I'll make it anyway, but, you know. With everything being said, before I say goodbye, let me answer the title question one more time. Because it's a fucking banger.